It's funny. There was quite, I stirred the pot on this very topic in terms of posting every day. However, I
never knew you were going.
Yes, I know. But I will say that I see the benefits of all the different ways of doing it. I think it has to just boil down to like, what are your objectives? What are you trying to accomplish? Who are you trying to reach? And how are you putting it out there? Is it authentic to you, right? So I see people who post every day and I'm intrigued and I follow along, and I see people who post every day and I unfollow because I'm just like,
right,
mute.
I think it's important to just engage every day. So just like you may not go to the gym and strength train every day, but you're physically active every day, right? So engaging in content, whether I'm hopping onto Ciara's or I'm consuming versus creating. Sometimes I'm creating. Sometimes I do 3 posts a day. Sometimes I don't do a post for 3 days.
Student became the master.
I'm just engaging when it feels right. Yeah. It's like my content engagement is for me to decompress, honestly. It's like, oh, this is what we have going on in our firm. I want you guys to see what we're doing. Or, hey, this is what Karen is doing. I want you to see that. Or, oh, my son had a headshot done by the master of headshots, Daniel Wakefield. I want you to see that he's great, and you need to have your kids getting headshots done. Yeah. It's whatever feels right.
I agree. So in terms of, what's interesting about your content, so I want you to talk about the resources and strategy, but you also used a podcast to showcase other business owners. Your approach is really about highlighting other professionals in the community. And I'm curious as to how did that become your strategy? It's kind of mine, to be honest. I just don't use a podcast for it.
So my thought process initially was, I had gone to a conference and they had, because I always thought that it's oversaturated. Everyone now has a podcast, like it's the thing. And so I was at a conference and they had asked the audience, someone on the stage has an insurance specific podcast, and someone in the audience had asked them the question of, hey, do you notice any growth in your insurance agency, even though your podcast is specific towards insurance agents, right? So you're not selling anything, and you're just talking to us. And he said, absolutely. It has helped me in the community. Like just having a podcast, you're received different. People perceive you differently. You're an authority. And so they had said, well, how many people in the room have a podcast? And there was about 300 people in the room, and about 11 people raised their hand. And they were, it's why I started it. And then they were like, if you take one thing out of this conference, go home and start a local community podcast. It's going to change your business. And so it's funny because my dad had been telling me, you should start a podcast. You should start and I'm like, what am I going to talk about? Like, I have nothing to talk about. And by the time I got home,
and keep talking, because I'll be like 2 a.m. and I'm looking at your TikTok videos. Are you watching Ciara again? I'm like, yes, I am.
You don't even need guests on your podcast. People will just be staring and listening.
But I got home and I ordered all the equipment, and I'm kind of just that person where I'm ripped the Band-Aid, and I'm not really the person, this is not good advice, so don't do this, but I'm not the person that's like, well, I have a camera and I'll just start with this. Like, no, I got to spend the money so that I feel the pain so that I do it, right? So I bought all the equipment, $2,500, bought the equipment, and I was like, well, now I got to do it. Right. And it worked. And so Mike was actually my first guest. And we had so much fun. But my point in saying all this is I feel like for me, I'm in an industry that's very supportive, and I've gotten a lot of support, a lot of help, a lot of mentorship. And I've always heard, man, I'm never leaving insurance because the support is the best. People come from other industries. I wish I had this kind of mentorship and support earlier in my career. So then I was like, man, well, if so many industries aren't that way, maybe I could just start a podcast interviewing people in my community that are successful in their business and that are willing to talk about it honestly and are willing to talk about what's hard, what's easy, how many times did they fail. And so it was hard to start. It takes a lot of planning and getting in the rhythm of it.
Yeah, talk that through a little bit, because this is the resource time management, like all of that. Like how much time, how many resources do you dedicate to planning out the podcast and then extending that content?
Again, bad advice, but this is the way I do it. It's true.
Don't do me.
This is the way I do it. I don't plan my episodes. Like I don't have themes for my episodes because that it's just extra work for me. And it's funny because some of the guests, like, who's the guest that's like needs like, hey, what questions are you going to ask me first? And I'm just like, we're just going to have a conversation. I don't script it. I don't have a theme. It's come talk. Just have a conversation. It is. But it's really just my own, like, I can't be too structured. I'm not organized enough to like have a like
Soul sisters.
Right.
giving me
Right.
anxiety.
Lisa came and she did it. I do ask. So what I did do is I created like a Calendly where you can, sign up, pick your day. I did time block my days, and I have Friday mornings, Wednesday afternoon for anybody that can't make the morning. So that was the number one key. I didn't have to start looking for time in my calendar. Where can it be? No, these are the 2 days a week that I have blocked. At some point, someone has a Friday morning or a Wednesday afternoon free. Right?
How many episodes do you record a month?
My calendar is open for 2 weeks. So for example, I have one this afternoon, but I don't have one on Friday. Next week I have 2. So both, I do one a day.
So how do you plan the release of it?
So we release two a month. So I have about 9 always like in the back to give me some space, because I did learn that early on. I lost my editor at the time, and then I went about 2 or 3 months without posting anything because I couldn't find an editor. I didn't have any in the bag. So I have some there recorded. Yeah, about a quarter's worth to help me in case something happens where I run out of guests or anything like that. This is what you should do about what I do. It's what I do is I ask everyone that comes on, hey, who do you think I would be a good guest for me to have on? Where I'm getting access to their network, where I would probably never meet this person, and everybody wants to come and talk about themselves. Right? Like,
everybody likes to talk about themselves.
So I feel it, right. And so it's like it's giving me access to people, growing my community, growing my network in a way that's about them, right? We never talk about insurance. Even the insurance agents I've had on, we're talking about the business.
Right.
So I think that's been the best thing I've learned as far as like asking other people, and then they feel good inviting their friend, right? So I would encourage anybody to do it. I think that once you get into the rhythm and the system of it, it gets way easier. And now I'm actually having fun. At first it was a chore.
Your podcast was the first podcast I was ever on. Like, I'd never been on a podcast. It was hands down one of the best experiences. It was you made me feel so comfortable.
I know. You gotta come back.
I was like hived out. I was hived out on that one.
We had so much fun. It actually, when you get out of your own head, ironically, after what, getting out of your own head and just realizing you're just having a conversation and things can be edited out. Yeah. Like you don't have to worry. You don't, just have a conversation. And I think that that's kind of helped me. And I like to do it in person. I really like the in person. I think it sticks more. I think people pay more attention. It makes for good content. So I get one episode, 45 minutes, and then I get about 4 reels for my socials. And so what I do is I post 2 to promote the episode, and then I keep 2 for that way. A rainy day, I'll do a throwback series, and then I have 2 of each guest that I could do throwbacks. In the next year.
Very structured to me.
Yeah,
I have mild structure.
So this is where my sitting side by side with Nicole, I've learned some things. So when you do that, do you do collab posts so that they are now sharing that same thing? And because then you get double the exposure. Now their whole network is seen.
Look at all of the things I'm learning.
I'm telling you, collab posts, it's a new thing for me, but I've learned about it and it's very important.
It's funny too, because the episode that I think that I enjoy or that I think will do the best never lands. It's not the one that performs the best. It's so funny.
It's
and
the same with the articles, by the way.
That's so funny.
It's shocking. Yeah.
It's wild how the audience responds to stuff.
Yeah.
It's so true. Even some of my LinkedIn posts, I'm like, oh my gosh, I feel so lame posting this. It gets the most. It's the one that goes viral.
So it's kind of like you just got to detach from the outcome of how it's received. Just post it. Just do it consistently. Show up.
Drop right there. I feel like, okay, that's a wrap. Like,
you just have to, because if I think it's good and I think it's, it was good for me, but I'm not, my audience isn't just a bunch of me's, right? Like, it's different people from different walks of life. And so I think that when I realized, like, don't worry about how it's received and who likes it. And, it's out there, it's consistent. And the best thing about it that we have to remember is that it lives forever.
Is that good or bad?
I mean, well,
that just gave me anxiety.
well, this is good. This is good. I mean, like, a girl's weekend living forever on the internet might not be great, but...
Well, here's what I want to add on the collab, because when you had me on it, you just said earlier that you asked people who can come on the podcast. But what you asked me was, hey, Lisa, would it benefit you if I share some of these videos with you for you to share on? And as a content creator, I was like, give me the entire file, because now that's going to make me excited. And we spread it out for almost 6 months where we were repurposing. And it was a little bit selfish of like, oh, I want people to see it. But it was also highlighting, but here's the podcast that I was on. Here's my friend that I was on. So for that live on longer, it happened because I kept reposting a podcast 6 months later, highlighting and giving cred to you for inviting me. I don't know. That was just something I want to throw out there.
And I would say too, something that I learned is, which might be a little bit selfish on my side, but it's a content conversation we're having. It's like, if I invite someone to the podcast that doesn't have a social media presence, not great. So I'm kind of like, I'm trying to like, okay, well, yeah, the goal is to promote each other, right? So if you're not online and if you don't have a social media presence, like you might be a round C draft pick.
I don't think I love the sports analogy.
Well, I mean, it is what I mean.
You're not even round C, honestly.
It's 2025.
The minors, and we're gonna wait till we pull you up. But
I had like a vision of high school where the sign up is on the, I can't speak. There is a sign up and it's like, here are the people that made the cut. If you don't see your name, sorry, try it out next year. Try again.
But you know what? It's actually a very fair and accurate comment, because the reality is, I think the same has to be said for the podcast you go on. There is something to be said for that. Like, while we're all looking to, get the exposure and we want to be seen in a certain light, there's something to be said for the podcast we choose to say yes to. And so I think it's fair that the same way you're evaluating your guests is how I look at evaluating like podcasts that I'm going to guest on. Like, are they even speaking to the people that are going to serve, my objectives? Because if I'm talking to a group of people that would never pay attention to the Daily Drip, join the Daily Drip, are interested in what we talk about, it probably doesn't make sense for me to be on that podcast,
To your point and the point of this conversation too, and one of the keys is being intentional, right? Like, don't just throw spaghetti at the wall with your content. Be intentional about what's the messaging. What do you want to look like online? What do you want to be known for online, right? Like Karen said immediately, we're a family first CPA firm, and that's what she shares. And we're connected to her children automatically, right? Like, we know the dogs.
We know Shelly's got dance comp. We know all the things.
But it feels real then. Yeah. So then for you to show up here and say we're a family first CPA, that's authentic and it's intentional.
Wait till you see our multicultural. We do Spirit Week, by the way. I haven't released that content because it's happening right now, but it's so true. I want people to look, everybody knows what accountants do. Everyone knows what CPA firms do. Everyone knows we do tax, Nobody needs to see that on social media. No one cares. I don't care. It's boring. A few years ago, I tried using Hero Post and creating this very structured plan and putting everything on there. And it flopped. It totally flopped because I just didn't even know why I was posting these things. I had no intention, no authenticity. And then Daniel Wakefield actually was the one that he gave me the nudge, and he was like, okay, Peter is forcing you to do social media. I'm going to kind of coach you into it. And so I just started tagging onto his social medias, and it made me much more comfortable. And then I'm like, whoop, here I come.
But I'm curious, do you agree, though, that depending on the platform, it does matter what you share about your business?
I never post the same, one of my pet peeves, unless it's a reason for something like the Holiday Hope campaign or something. I never post the same thing in all three medias. I have one style for one source, one style for another source, and I never double up because then I feel like people just get bored.
Oh, I do it. I post it all. You guys are getting it everywhere.
I feel like I'm kind of like
I used to feel that way, but at some point I'm just like,
But on LinkedIn, I would say that my Instagram definitely looks different than my LinkedIn. I post a lot of dog or what, cat, same. Things, and more frequently in stories. It's also a little more accessible. LinkedIn, you're still trying to maintain some modicum of decorum, listen, more than just a pretty face.
I do agree with that though. My Instagram is more personal, more behind the scenes, more more relaxed than LinkedIn.
I have 2 Instagrams. I have a personal and I have a professional. Now I'm always on my professional, never on my personal. I don't even want to look at it anymore. How do you decipher what to post? For me, since I'm posting more personal and office-related things, how do you know what to post where?
I say stick with one. When we think about trust, to me, I wouldn't want someone being like, oh, it's different on this side versus this side. So don't get me wrong. On LinkedIn, I do look a little bit more buttoned up. But on my Instagram page, it's still me. Am I going to throw out something professional? Absolutely. But then I'm going to do my crazy dance with my girls because I'm going to show people that, hey, I still put my pants on one leg at a time. Sometimes, falling over. Backwards. Yeah, sometimes backwards. But we talked about this earlier. People are scared of HR. So to me, I don't want them going to one page that they're like, oh, this is the HR side. No, Like, you can actually come talk to me. Like, I'm a real human being. I have the same struggles you do. I cry. You know, I don't know.
That's very helpful. That's very helpful.
I agree with that. I mean, I don't have a separate business page. Like, I only have my Romi Uncensored for better or worse. But I agree. I think, like, you really want to see the whole person. Yeah. Again, like, everybody knows or are learning what you all do professionally. They care about the person.